In a quiet corner of the vast space station, where stars twinkled far away like tiny lights, lived a man named Ethan. He was not a soldier or a great hero, but a simple mechanic who worked hard every day to fix machines and keep the station running smoothly. Ethan was known for his calm nature and kind heart, but no one really knew about his past or what made him different from others. One cold evening, as the artificial lights dimmed and most people rested, a strange package arrived at Ethan's door. It was small, wrapped in a silver cloth, and it made a soft sound from inside. Curious, Ethan opened the package slowly, and inside he found a young alien girl. She looked hurt and weak. Her skin pale with strange blue marks all over, her big eyes were closed, and she was breathing lightly, like she was about to faint. Ethan's heart beat fast. He had never seen an alien like her before. She was beautiful in a way he could not explain, but something about her made him feel both worried and curious. He gently lifted her in his arms and carried her to his small room, which was filled with tools and parts, but now it felt like the safest place in the whole station. As he laid her down on a soft bed, Ethan noticed the many wounds on her body. Some looked old and faded, while others were fresh and painful. It was clear she had been through a lot. He wanted to help her, but he did not know how. The station was not a hospital and he was not a doctor, yet he felt a strange pull inside him, a need to protect this broken girl no matter what. Suddenly, his small radio crackled to life. "Ethan, what have you got there?" A rough voice asked from the other side. It was Jax, one of the station's guards, and known for his sharp tongue and cruel jokes. Ethan covered the alien girl carefully and answered softly, "Nothing, just found her like this. Someone left her for me." Jax laughed. "Left her for you? Maybe she's just some toy for entertainment. They do funny things here sometimes." Ethan frowned but kept quiet. He did not want trouble, but the words stayed in his mind. Could it be true? Was this alien girl just a broken toy for others to play with and then throw away? He looked at her fragile face and shook his head. No, she is not a toy. She is alive and she needs help. For hours, Ethan stayed awake, watching her breathe and trying to clean her wounds with the little supplies he had. The alien girl did not open her eyes, but once, a small tear rolled down her cheek. It was a sign of pain, and it made Ethan's heart ache. He whispered, "You are safe now. I will not let anyone hurt you." But he did not know if she could hear him or understand. The next morning, the station buzzed with usual activity, but Ethan kept the alien girl hidden. He knew the people who gave her to him were dangerous, and they might come back to take her away, so he made a plan to keep her safe for now. But he also knew he could not do it alone. He needed help, but who could he trust? As he stepped out to find someone, he noticed a shadow watching him from a distance. The shadow disappeared quickly, but Ethan felt a cold chill down his spine. Someone was watching, waiting for a chance to take the alien girl back. He had to be careful. Every step he took could be dangerous. Later that day, a strange message came to Ethan's communicator. It was a warning. Return the girl, or face the consequences. The voice was cold and serious. There was no name. But Ethan knew it was from those who used her for cruel games. They wanted her back, and they did not care what it would cost. Ethan looked at the alien girl sleeping peacefully, unaware of the danger around her. His mind raced, but his heart was clear. He would protect her no matter what, even if it meant risking his own life. The broken alien girl was not just a gift for entertainment. She was a life he had to save, and a secret he had to keep. As night fell again on the space station, Ethan sat beside her, holding her hand gently. The stars outside shone brightly. But inside, a storm was brewing. The story of the broken alien girl had only just begun, and Ethan was ready to face whatever came next. Days passed slowly in the space station, but for Ethan, every moment was filled with worry. The alien girl stayed quiet, her eyes still closed most of the time. But Ethan noticed small signs, a quick breath, a tiny twitch of her fingers, that told him she was alive inside. She was not just broken in body, but broken in spirit. Something deep inside her kept her silent and afraid. Ethan wanted to understand her pain, but words were impossible. She did not speak any language he knew. Instead, she used her eyes, her small gestures, and sometimes a soft sound that was almost like a whisper. Each day, Ethan tried to help her heal, cleaning wounds, giving her water, and whispering stories from Earth, hoping she would feel safe. But the fear in her eyes never left. One night, as the station lights dimmed, Ethan sat beside her and noticed something strange. Under the silver cloth she wore, there were marks, not just scars but strange symbols glowing faintly on her skin. They pulsed with a soft blue light, like they were alive. Ethan touched them gently, feeling a sudden warmth spread through his fingers. It was as if the marks held a secret, a memory or a warning, but he could not understand it yet. At the same time, strange noises began echoing in the station corridors. Footsteps too quiet to catch, and shadows moving just out of sight. Someone was watching them, waiting for a chance to take the alien girl away. Ethan's heart raced every time he heard the soft sounds. His simple mechanic's life had changed forever. He met with a few trusted friends quietly, explaining only parts of the story. He knew he could not keep the alien girl safe alone. But the more he shared, the more he realized how little he really knew about her world and the dangers that followed. One of his friends warned, "These marks you found, they are not just scars. They might be a sign of her real power or her true identity, something that others want at any cost." Ethan felt both fear and hope. The alien girl was not just a victim. She might be the key to something bigger than anyone could guess. But what was that secret? And would it save her or destroy them both? That night, the alien girl finally opened her eyes. Just for a moment, she looked straight at Ethan. Her gaze was full of sadness and trust. It was a fragile moment, but Ethan knew it was the start of something new. She was ready to fight her past, but she needed him, and he needed to be ready to risk everything for her. Ethan's world grew darker as he learned more about the alien girl's past. The glowing marks on her skin were not just strange symbols. They were a warning from a powerful group called the Varnak, a cruel alien clan known for capturing weak beings and using them for their dangerous games. The girl's real name was Lyra, but even she was scared to say it out loud. One night, while Ethan was fixing a broken machine, a message came through his communicator. The voice was cold and rough. "Return Lyra now, or face the Varnak's wrath." Ethan's blood ran cold. He knew the Varnak did not bluff. They would send hunters, strong and merciless, to take her back by force. But Ethan could not give her up. Not after all he had seen. Not after the trust slowly growing between them. He decided to hide Lyra deeper in the station's old tunnels, places few dared to go. It was dangerous, but it was their only chance. In the dark tunnels, Lyra began to show small signs of strength. She walked slowly but surely, her eyes watching every shadow. Ethan realized she was learning to trust him, but the fear inside her still fought to break free. He wanted to ask about her past, but the words stayed caught inside his throat. How could he make her talk when the enemies were so close? Meanwhile, the Varnak hunters moved closer, their ships dark like the night sky. They were ruthless and fast, leaving destruction behind. Ethan knew time was running out. Every moment counted, and every mistake could cost Lyra her life. One evening, as Ethan checked on Lyra, she suddenly reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was cold, but her grip was firm. She looked into his eyes and whispered, "Help me, please." It was the first time she spoke in his language, and it was enough to make Ethan's resolve stronger. He promised her, "I will not let them take you." But deep inside, he wondered, was he ready to face the shadows of her past? The shadows that might destroy them both? Days in the hidden tunnels were cold and quiet, but between Ethan and Lyra, something new was growing. Words were still few, but their bond grew deeper than any language. Ethan learned to read her small gestures, a nod, a blink, a slight smile. And Lyra began to trust him more with each passing moment. She was no longer just a broken alien girl. She was someone fighting to live again. Ethan spent hours cleaning her wounds and telling stories about Earth, about the stars, about kindness, about hope. Slowly, Lyra's body grew stronger, and her eyes shone brighter, but the danger outside. The tunnels was real and close. The Varnak hunters never stopped searching, and their presence felt like a dark cloud hanging over them. One night, Ethan noticed Lyra watching the tunnel's entrance carefully. Her sharp eyes caught something he missed. Faint footprints in the dust. Someone had been there, watching, waiting for the right moment. Fear mixed with determination inside Ethan. He knew they could not hide forever. But something in Lyra changed too. She seemed ready to fight if she had to. Ethan's heart ached, knowing the battles ahead would be more than just physical. The silent bond between them was their greatest strength, but also their greatest risk. Could trust alone protect them from the storm coming their way? As they sat together in the dim light, Lyra placed her hand on Ethan's chest, her touch gentle but strong. He felt her heartbeat, steady, alive, real. For the first time since she arrived, Ethan believed they could survive, not just by hiding, but by standing together. Outside, the shadows moved closer, but inside the tunnels, hope began to shine. Their silent bond was growing into something powerful, something worth fighting for. And as the night deepened, Ethan whispered softly, "We will face whatever comes, together." The silence of the tunnels was shattered one cold night, when distant lights flashed like angry stars outside. Ethan's heart pounded as the Varnak hunters finally found their hiding place. Their heavy boots echoed closer and closer, the cold air filled with danger. Ethan grabbed a small weapon he had hidden, ready to protect Lyra at any cost. Lyra stood beside him, her eyes sharper now, no longer afraid but fierce. Though her body was still healing, her spirit burned bright like fire. The hunters stormed in, ruthless and fast. Their leader was tall, with cold eyes that showed no mercy. "Give us the girl," he growled, "or face death." Ethan did not answer with words. He stood firm, blocking the way, refusing to let them take her. The battle was sudden and brutal. Lights flashed, metal clashed, and the sound of fighting echoed through the tunnels. Lyra surprised everyone by moving quickly, her small hands glowing with a strange energy. She fought beside Ethan, defending herself with power he had never seen before. The hunters were strong, but they were not ready for this unexpected fight. In the chaos, Ethan and Lyra managed to escape deeper into the tunnels, but not without cost. Ethan felt a sharp pain, a wound that burned like fire. He looked at Lyra, her face full of worry. "I'm okay," he said, hiding the truth. But then, in the confusion, Lyra was grabbed by one of the hunters, pulled away from Ethan's reach. "No!" Ethan shouted, trying to break free, but the hunters disappeared into the dark, taking Lyra with them. Ethan fell to his knees, pain and fear mixing inside him. His mind raced. Would he lose her forever? Was this the end of their fight, or just the beginning of a greater battle? As the cold wind blew through the tunnels, Ethan made a silent promise. "I will find you, no matter what." And with that, the storm of war had truly begun. Ethan's world felt empty without Lyra. The pain of losing her burned deep inside, but he refused to give up. He knew the Varnak hunters were dangerous, but his heart was stronger than fear. Gathering a small group of trusted friends, people who believed in him and the strange girl, Ethan planned a secret mission to save her. The space station buzzed with rumors, but no one knew the real danger lurking beneath. Ethan and his team moved carefully through narrow corridors and forgotten tunnels. Each step brought them closer to the Varnak stronghold, a place filled with shadows and cold machines. The air was thick with danger and silence, broken only by the soft hum of alien technology. Inside the stronghold, Lyra sat chained but unbroken. Her eyes burned with a quiet fire. She refused to show fear, even as the hunters watched her like a prize. Ethan's heart ached, seeing her like that, but he knew she was fighting in her own way. Waiting for him, the rescue was not easy. Alarms blared as Ethan and his friends fought their way through guards. The battle tested their courage and strength, but they pushed forward, driven by hope and loyalty. When Ethan finally reached Lyra, he whispered, "I'm here, I won't leave you." Her eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of trust. Together, they escaped through twisting tunnels, but the hunters were close behind. The chase was fast and dangerous. Ethan used every skill he had learned as a mechanic and fighter. But just as they reached the surface, the ground shook violently. The stronghold was collapsing. They barely made it out alive, Lyra safe in Ethan's arms. The danger was not over, but the bond between them was stronger than ever. As they looked to the stars, Ethan knew their fight was far from finished. But for now, they had each other, and that was enough to keep going. The sun rose slowly over the space station, casting warm light on Ethan and Lyra. For the first time in a long while, they felt peace. But the journey had changed them both deeply. Lyra's wounds were healing, her eyes shining with new strength. And Ethan, once a simple mechanic, now stood taller, carrying the weight of their story. Together, they faced a future unknown, but not alone. Their bond was a bridge between two worlds, human and alien. Fragile yet unbreakable, people on the station started to see them differently. Not as broken or strange, but as survivors and fighters. Ethan knew the Varnek threat still lingered in the shadows, waiting for a chance to return. But now he was ready, with Lyra by his side. One quiet evening, as they looked at the stars, Lyra touched Ethan's arm gently and smiled. A smile full of hope, trust, and maybe, just maybe, a new beginning. Ethan whispered back, "Whatever comes next, we face it together." The station's lights flickered softly, as if agreeing. The story of the broken alien girl and the man who risked everything to heal her was just beginning. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: together, they were stronger than any darkness. And with that hope, a new dawn broke across the stars.